Hey everybody. I had to just come back on here. Now I can see it moving. I swore I saw it moving before, but I had to come on. I did a whole 40. First of all, let me say subscribe, hit the notification bell. I did. I'm sure if you watch or you see, you get notified by me. I did a whole 40-minute video. And then when I got to getting ready, and it's so crazy because I was talking about this Ecamm Live, and I use this because I'm on a MacBook and I like to use my MacBook to stream, and I'm thinking about the StreamYard. So it's just interesting that I did that whole video, and for some reason, I don't know how the microphone got muted because I haven't done anything with it in so long. The microphone was muted, and so I talked a whole 40 minutes, and nobody could hear anything I was saying. Of course, you can't recreate what's genuine and what's real and raw, but I was just really on talking about the lessons that I've learned through this quarantine and dealing with this virus. And just talking about how, it really does affect your mental health. And people didn't realize how much they like to be outside or would love being outside until you couldn't be outside. And I know for sure that the suicide rate has went up. The overdose rate has went up during this time because it does affect. Fix this, it's crooked. It does affect your there we go. It does affect your, you didn't realize it would affect your mental health. I know I was saying that, for me, because I am an entrepreneur and I work from home, and so I'm always at work. And then when we weren't in a quarantine or in a situation like this with the pandemic, I at least was able to leave here to go and do other things that freed my mind. And now by being quarantined, it's like when you're at home, a lot of people who work a 9 to 5 or work a job outside the house, when they come home, they say, okay, I'm home. Home is like that restful place, peaceful place. But for an entrepreneur who works from home, it's like home is home and home is work. And sometimes you have to teach and tell your mind, like, no, I'm off. I am at home. Even though I'm where I work, I should not be working. And that was a big thing for me. I was just constantly, of course, I got my daughter's business, shout out, matter of fact, it'll be in the description. Lay Beauty, it launched on June 15th. It's a skin and beauty product line. She has 4 products as of now: skin moisturizer, a green tea face mist, a tea face mist because it's green and white tea, biotin hair boost serum. So if you watch me throughout the time, this is why my hair is so full and stuff now, because I use her biotin hair boost serum to thicken up my hair and get me some hair growing in the middle where I was thinning at due to the chemo, as well as dealing with hyperthyroidism. So we did that. Of course, you guys watched, and I had my business. Love, I'm an advocate for cannabis. I am an advocate for the medical benefits of it, and so I'm definitely an advocate for CBD and cannabinol and all of the other elements that are helpful for our bodies, for our natural health. So in that, made some changes in that, and went from changing the name, and just been a lot of things, and having a partner, no longer having a partner, and having to kind of do everything in a sense all over. But because that's what I do for a living, it wasn't really that hard for me to, get things switched up and changed up. Some things, blessingly, I didn't have to change because they did not bear the full company original company's name. So that's great for me. But yeah, that happened. I did start traveling in June. So I've been about 3 places now, to Atlanta, to Las Vegas, and I just got back from New Orleans. Las Vegas and New Orleans are two of my favorite cities, and then the third one is New York. I haven't been there in a while, so I guess I need to get there soon. But yeah, so I like I said, I can't recreate what I was saying, but I was really just talking about how what I've learned is, for me, being a coach and a motivational speaker and a motivator and a helper, I never really knew how to draw the line between who deserves to be in your direct or immediate circle in your life. And I just didn't know that. I didn't learn that. I didn't know what to do. And so I kind of, in my not wanting to be a judgmental type of person, I have always, anybody I met, if they seemed nice, I thought they were nice, I would, they would have as much access to me as as anybody else. And I don't really give myself time to truthfully get to know a person or know people probably the way that I should. Hold on. The way that I should, so much so that I don't set myself up for just when I actually learn about a person or really get to know people. I realize, like, oh, this ain't nobody I should have let get that close to me, or I shouldn't have let them get in this position. Not that they're, not people that I didn't need to know or something like that, but just everybody. I always say this, and it's so crazy because I say it and then I turn around and do different. Everybody does not deserve to be in the front row of the theater of your life. And what when you're a helper and when you're a fixer, you don't learn that there are boundaries. Especially, and I'm an only child, so I'm always open. I want to be with people, be around people, and I never really made boundaries. I always kind of, because I'm double sided. I say this all the time. I'm academic, I'm educated, and all that. I'm an entrepreneur, and then I'm also from the hood. I likes to do, just typical age appropriate stuff, but things that maybe somebody else who didn't come from where I come from wouldn't think that's fun or wouldn't understand why I'm like that. If I had somebody that knows me from my, just say what I do as far as corporate and educated wise and business wise, would probably never know, like, the way I, talk and well, I ain't gonna say that, because that's the thing I'm gonna say about I learned about myself. And I think that everybody should take this. You should be able to be your authentic self in any space and room that you are in. Does that mean that if you're in a business meeting and when you at home, you be loud and partying and drinking or whatever, something like that? No, you can't do it in a business meeting. So that part of you, you're not showing that part of you in that place, because it doesn't fit in for that environment. But when you're in that environment, you shouldn't have to become someone else. You should just bring out that side of you that actually does fit in that environment. And I think that a lot of people, they try to change themselves to fit into the space and the environment that they are in. And I know for me, I don't change who I am, but I will say there are times that when I'm in either of the two different environments where I know the time is up, I can no longer and that's how it would be. I can no longer dumb myself down over here, and then I could no longer keep myself up over here. And so I needed to get out of the spaces. So I always longed or wanted, of course, people who fit in both spaces, which means people who are kind of like equally yoked to me. And of course, not somebody who's exactly like me. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying people who, when I am around them, I am 100% comfortable no matter what room I take them in with them. And that's hard to find because it's not just about partying. It's not just about business and knowledge and things like that. It's also about morals. It's also about values. There's just so many things that make us up as people. And I know for me, I didn't, oftentimes didn't take the time to make sure that when I decided to let people or somebody in my, in this immediate circle, that they fit comfortably in all spaces. Now, there are some people in my life that are going to always, that are in my immediate circle, and they may not be, just in the business and then things like that. But I know that they, love me genuinely, unconditionally as is. So I have to, of course, because I'm naturally, that's a part of me. That's what I want to do. I want to fix. I want to motivate. I have to curb that side of me, calm it down, just because I know that it's not called for in this relationship, in this situation with these people. Because what'll happen is when you find yourself always seeming like you're trying to either help or fix or something like that, it starts to, for one, come off as if you think you know better than these people or than the person, as well as it makes you become negative because the person isn't taking your advice or isn't doing what you have suggested that they should do. And then that means that they're probably whatever, living how they want to live. And so you have to understand that just because you think a certain way or you think living a certain way is good, it's good for you. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good for everybody. And I learned that I went on a quest to start changing myself and changing the company that I kept, because about, maybe a little over 5 years ago, I realized that, I was in places where it was either or. And I wasn't in places where I was fully fed all the time. And so I let go of, particular relationships that I just didn't think that served me, as well as that I realized that the people really just weren't for me. But then being in COVID, I went in some spaces prior to, I can't say that, being in the pandemic. I went into spaces prior because, of course, I said I was in search for some equally yoked people. And I have a few, around, but just, we live in different areas and things like that. And even the other people I was looking for. So I met, of course, several people just in different things that I had been doing. And, you realize it's like, okay, we got a lot in common, but we have a lot in common. A lot of times, if you take your time, you realize you just have a lot in common in maybe one area or two areas. Say you're multifaceted. There's 5 components to who you are. And you meet people or you're around people and they only serve 2 components of who you are. You have to take time to figure that out. And so that way, that's probably not a space or place you should be in, because depending on what's going on in those environments, if you're like me, and this is a part of me that I wanted to change, and I knew I needed to change, and I had changed it. I just kind of being in places where I wasn't comfortable. Not that, because I'm comfortable in myself, but the environment didn't suit my spirit and my soul. And sometimes in me being my unapologetically me self, sometimes people don't understand, just like I don't understand them. And then you can kind of come into a battle. You'll see a battle of trying to make one feel bad, or both people trying to, because one don't understand this one and they don't understand each other, and then it just becomes an uncomfortable space for all involved. I used to do that. I changed that because I realized that when I would leave those spaces where I weren't happy in, all I had to say when I left the space, the places, was negative things. All I had to say was negative things. some about the person, some about the place I was at. And I'm like, and of course to others or to some people, they may take it as, oh, you just negative, or you jealous, or you this or you that, as opposed to, no, I just didn't belong in this place dealing in this situation, so I wouldn't have anything to say. Because if I was in this place and it was good and it was a good time, I'm going to talk about how much of a good time it was as well. But it just taught me that don't, once you learn about something, once you feel uncomfortable with anything, no matter what it is, don't keep putting yourself in those places, because it will turn you into either the old you or into somebody that you don't want to be. And I know for me, I'm going to say the old me. Because I really worked hard to get people out of my life that I felt like when I left the room, I was going to have something negative to say about them. And not there's anything wrong with them. They are just not a person that's compatible to who I am. So much so that when I'm in their presence, I feel good all the time. And we human. Everybody is not meant for everybody. I know for me, because I don't care what nobody doing, what nobody got. I will be friends. My friend says all the time, I will be friends with the pimp, the prostitute, preacher, and the professional politician. That's me. I don't care. But just because I don't care and I don't judge what people do does not mean that all of those people should be in my space, because I'm not that person. I'm not those people. I'm not judging what they do because that's their life, but that's not something that I want to do with my life. So that means that that's not somebody that should be in my immediate circle. And I learned that, and because I would feel it. I was like, I would leave people or leave places and see people. Okay, I'm sorry, my daughter's messaging me. Um, if I would just be talking about the people, and that just ain't no way to be, especially when I'm, I ain't gonna say I mean, because I don't dislike the people. It's not that. It's just that who they are and who I am don't mix, and that's just it. And it's just funny. Yeah, it's just funny that you don't really realize that you I don't know if people realize you're doing it. I mean, I'm sure you got girls, especially women. We got groups of friends and things like. I'm gonna take this glass off. Whew. I hate looking at this camera without it, but I can't. Yeah, I can't see. It's blurry. We girlfriends, and you have girlfriends, and I think that's just like been a common thing, where especially if it's more than two people. I'd say more than three. It's a common thing because everybody is different, and then there may be, if it's five of y'all, three of y'all really got more in common than the other two. They may have more something in common, and but y'all all around each other. Well, the chances are that the two that you don't have something in common with, or vice versa, y'all gonna probably do something that the other thinks a certain way about. And what happens then naturally, I think, is the people who got something in common and who think the same, they're going to talk about what those two people did, and vice versa. And of course, it'll look like, oh, they talking about them, or they talking about, and it's not necessarily you're talking about them. Even if you're saying something negative, you're just speaking about an experience you just had, and you're speaking about how you feel about an experience. Now, if that has to be negative, if it was repeated, if it was told to the other person, if you think that it would be something that you would not be able to say or own and apologize for, whatever the case may be, then that means that you probably should not be around those people anymore. And that is hard to accept. But if you are trying to be a genuine person who no one, because you may have, I know I have a ton of good qualities. I mean, I know that I do well at what I do well at, but I will be honest and say that at times, if I don't check myself, I will put myself in a place where I'm becoming other than who I want to become, and I'm being who other than who I want to be, and who I've worked so hard to not be anymore. So I just, this quarantine has just really taught me really that about myself. You can love everybody. You can not judge. You could understand that everybody's going to be themselves, but all those people, everybody, just because you meet them, just because you like them, just because you could do business with them, does not mean they deserve immediate access to you. And not going to just say immediate, but access to you all the time. If you are in places, if you are around where you feel like you have to change who you are, or just always like, oh, I'm agree to disagree, You agree and disagree right now. As soon as you get around somebody or talk to somebody who think like you gonna talk about that conversation or whatever that situation was that you agreed to disagree on. And then guess what happens? Now you're talking negatively about this situation, because the reality of it is, if you have to agree to disagree with a person or people a lot, that ain't nobody you really need to be around. So you're not continuously dealing in a situation where you feel like you always leaving a place and discussing with somebody else. That person who probably has more in common with you, that's who you need to be hanging out with. If that person thinks like you have fun with them. I mean, and you're going to have different groups of friends. I believe I have lifelong people who I call them grandfather. Then it doesn't matter what they do, no matter where I grow or how I go, I'm going to always reach back and talk to them at times. We're going to maybe link up for old time's sake and things like that. But that is every now and then. If you are talking to someone every day, every other day, once a week, and you are not able to be 100% your genuine self around them, or if they're being 100% them genuine selves around you, and you cannot leave that situation and leave that space and not feel happy and good about it, then you shouldn't be around those people. I'm just saying, you shouldn't. You are doing yourself an injustice, for one, because if we should be growing as people, we should be working on spreading positive news, good news, things that make people feel good, things that grow people. That is not possible if you're in places where you're uncomfortable, and you are not able to be yourself without either somebody thinking that you jealous of wherever you're at, or somebody thinking that you being yourself is something wrong with it, and so much so they're trying to put you down to hopefully make you question yourself. Don't be in places and spaces with people that you are not comfortable with. I can't say that enough. This quarantine has taught me that. This quarantine has taught me just to be okay with being the head. And that does not mean that you don't, because the head need the neck. And the neck need the shoulders. And, and it's just so you can be just like your body parts. You can have a team. You can have a team of people where you have the same goals. If you're in business or whatever, but they are working at the same goal, at the same speed, at the same effort as you. And they may end up just just working for you or whatever. But as long as they are able to see your vision, work just as hard because they take pride in their work or whatever they do, as you do, then that's all that's important. And if it's respectful and the business grows. And I know if you're someone like me, as I grow, whoever works with me is gonna grow with me. That's just the way it is, but you don't have to just allow everybody to just because you like them, just because you all agree on some things or whatever. You don't make serious decisions. That's what I'm gonna say. Some people believe in love at first sight and all that stuff, but I just say don't make all those kind of decisions when you ain't had time to get to know people. Okay, I really probably missed out on some stuff that I talked about before. I can't believe you coming on my dumb butt. Recorded the video 30 something minutes, for almost 40 minutes a little while ago, and I forgot to, and the microphone wasn't on. So I was irritated, but I had to come back on because that's what I was saying too about the quarantine time. It's kind of made me be lazy. Just because my mind has been working on other things. And I said before all this happened that I wanted to do at least 3 videos a week, because I'm definitely trying to grow my brand. I just spoke today on Mia Perez's Real Conversations show today. And then you only can do that and get more clients or get people to enroll in your academy or shop at your products, if you are visible and if people are getting to see you. So you guys, please don't lose yourself in the midst of this time. I know we watching, everybody is talking about vaccine. And it's interesting to me, I have to say this, that nobody is pushing make yourself healthy. Make yourself healthy. If your immune system is boosted, if your immune system is strong, not saying that you won't catch anything, but it will not affect you as negatively as it does someone who has a weakened immune system as well as underlying other health conditions and issues. So I'm going to say that here. Nobody else says it to you. You should add daily vitamin C, vitamin D, selenium, zinc, turmeric. If you elderberry, sea moss gel, definitely sea moss, definitely. If you got, and even apple cider vinegar as well. But if you can do, oh, and I gotta say my CBD, because it's been proven that the CBD and the cannabis is helping, and definitely helps to boost the immune system too. So I had to say that. So go shop 6, the number 6, the number 666, the number 6, the number 6, CBD.net. Go there, shop, grab you some CBD products. There's going to be a promo code in the description. But yeah, I'm going to push that because all I know is we don't know what's going to be in whatever they're trying to give and whatever they're trying to make us really feel like we really going to need it, because this is how this is going on and most people will run. I got a problem with telling you to wait for some drugs as opposed to telling you how you can naturally probably fight off this situation and this virus. Too many people have lost their lives. I mean, it's just been so much going on in 2020, and not just with the virus. It's just been a lot of deaths, it's murder, it's just been a lot. The protests, just so many things happen in 2020, and I know a lot of people look at it as a negative thing, but I really just say, and I've said this, I believe we are in the last days. Not that it's going to happen tomorrow, but this is a time, which is why I came on to be candid on this video. And just, you really need to be working to be pleasing to yourself so that you can live with yourself, and definitely to be pleasing in the eyes of God, the creator. If you don't believe in God, that's on you. But that you definitely should, for one, because like I said, we never know when and what moment may be our last. But you definitely don't want to waste a moment being an ugly person, a negative person, and a feeling that like you could become a better person. So just use these days and times that you have to work on you, becoming a better you. Sometimes you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I have to do that to myself often, and I must be honest and say, these past 4 months or so, I have really went off the course. I was able to stay on the course for all my clients and the people and things I do, but I went off course for me. And I am not going to say mad at myself because, of course, but I believe I'm going to be 50 next month. And so I believe that, you know, a lot of the lessons and a lot of the things that I'm learning, I learned them just in time for my 50th birthday so that I didn't go into this next phase of my life with anybody who I don't truly feel I'm comfortable with in my spirit and having in my life. And so on that hand, I can really say, um, it's been good for me. It's taught me a lot. Like I said, I've lost people. Everyone has lost people, and I definitely pray for anybody who is going through anything right now. But you know, I definitely work to be a positive person and try to find something positive in what negative is happening. And I can say that if I look at my immediate circle, if I look at the circle just outside of my immediate circle, it is filled with all people who I genuinely feel comfortable with. Not that we are exactly the same, no, but that I genuinely feel comfortable with. I'm not judging them, they're not judging me. Um, uh, and I'm just not in a space where there's nobody around that I just don't feel like I want to be around. And if there are people like that, then I've realized that's not my immediate circle and that's not the circle out. That's just somebody I say hi to. You know, if we run into each other at a place or something, we speak, we be cordial, but everybody does not deserve to be in the front row of the theater of your life, Monique. I'm saying this to myself. And take time to learn that. Don't force yourself. Don't force a square in a circle. And what that means is don't try to force yourself in places because you see that there may be something that you can possibly gain in that space. But don't force yourself to be in that space all the time if being in that space does not allow you to be unapologetically, authentically you. Because I promise you, it will change you. It will change you. You'll look up and you'll be somebody that you don't even recognize. And you never want to do that. You never want to lose yourself in trying to be, excuse my blue nails, you know, my hair is blue, but in trying to, you know, fit in. And even when of course, if you're growing, you're growing. So you're gonna go in a place, in a space that you haven't been before. So that's normal. But you can even grow to different heights and still be comfortable in the room and around the people that you're around. May you have to enhance on your speaking skills, enhance on your vocabulary, enhance on talking a little, you know, a little quieter, things like that. Yes, but you should not have to change who you are at all. You may put one side of you off till you walk out the room, but you are still able to be the other facets of who you are and comfortably be that and not worry about whether or not the people are telling you something is wrong with you being you or having a problem with you being you. Okay, love yourself. It has been an attack. It is an attack on us all, on trying to make us not love who we are, and be somebody else and be whatever everybody else thinks is good and what is a success and all that, and just stop. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you're not good enough being yourself. And you don't have to do what everybody else does just to mean success. Oh, you're successful. Successful people show their success in different ways. There are people who are billionaires that you'll see them and you would never know that they have $1 billion. And then there are people who are thousandaires and they look like they got $1 billion because they, you know, feel like, okay, I want to show that I'm doing well with things, material things, be it cars, clothes, handbags, shoes, whatever. Those people feel that that's their sign of success. There's nothing wrong with them being that way. But if that's not you, then you don't need to be around those kind of people, because what'll happen is you'll leave the room either feeling uncomfortable or feeling like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like. And then next thing you know, you're being negative, talking negative, and ain't nothing good come out of being negative. Okay. I guess that's it. Just be yourself. Find people who are equally yoked to you, that is in your relationships, male and female relationships, and that is in your friendships. You should find people who are equally yoked to you. And you don't have to go looking for them. They will find you. Pray and ask God daily for discernment and to draw to you who belongs and to keep away who doesn't. And then turn your good senses on. And when you see stuff, don't keep thinking, oh, I'm just gonna ignore that, but I like this. And then something else happens, oh, I'm gonna ignore that. All that ignoring, you ain't really ignoring because it's still sitting in the back of your mind. And at some point it's going to come out. And so, you know what you do? Too much unlike me and you. And I don't feel comfortable, so I'm not gonna be around you like that. Maybe only for, I mean, really sometimes ain't no reason to be around people, period. Okay. So thank you, everybody. Please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share. It doesn't cost you a thing. It don't take no time. If you see this video, I appreciate it. Definitely please comment. Tell me what you think. Now, what I always say, because this is the Monique J Let's Be Honest show, I want you to be honest, but I want you to be respectful. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I don't care if everybody agrees with me. As long as I agree with me, and that's all that matters. So I just want you to be respectful in the comments. And I hope that I'm saying something that is going to help someone who may be experiencing or feeling like I was feeling or going through kind of things what I was going through, where you just, you know where your mind is going and you feel like you're outgrowing a lot of the people that you have been around and been in your life for years and years and years, and then you go into another space because you think, okay, this fits more of where I'm growing to, and then you get there and they don't know you, and so they've determined what success or what growth or whatever looks like, and in their mind it don't look like you. So now you feel uncomfortable in that space with them because they're always telling you or pointing out to you how you don't fit in with what they have envisioned is success. That just means you don't, and you may not fit in what they have envisioned. That's just not a room you need to be fitting in no more. You need to go somewhere where the people are like you, where you can be comfortable being yourself, and they understand that it ain't none of us the same. That's why none of us look alike, and we gonna all be different. And just because you are not like me does not mean that something is wrong with you. Now, that may mean that you're not somebody that's supposed to be in my life on a regular basis, but there's nothing wrong with you being unapologetically you. Okay? Make sure you comment, subscribe, support 66, the number 6, CBD.net. Go and definitely visit the MoniqueJEcademy.teachable.com, but you can just go to MoniqueJE.com and you'll have a link to everything that I do. The 19 group is also a sponsor of the Monique J Let's Be Honest show. The 19 group is a full service professional, financial, and professional services company. And I think got Lay Beauty. That's LAYEBEAUTY.com. That is for skin and skin and hair products. They are organic. They are paraben free. Definitely a luxury product brand, a skin and hair brand. Go visit. Go shop. Products are luxury. They are I'd say mid-range price, but they last, and you will see the great results. That's why I got so much hair now. Lay Beauty. Biotin Hair Boost Serum. Go check it out. And don't take a lot every day either, and it does the job. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Please comment, please subscribe, please share. And until I see you again, and I promise I am going to be doing this more. I'm going to give this disclaimer because this is something I just was talking about. I will not be done up every day. That ain't my real life. Like I said, I was on the show today, so I got on, a little makeup and jewelry and stuff because I wanted to be respectful of the show that I was on, the platform I was on. But when I come on, I'm not going, and that just is what it is. And that's just me being unapologetically me. Okay? You do the same. And remember to remain at peace and not in pieces. God bless y'all. See you next time. It's the Monique J. Let's Be Honest Show.